Hey guys, welcome back. Today I actually coached a player to help him work on his Zoro gameplay. I think this video will be really good to share. I think this will help a lot of players that are struggling to, win local tournaments out with some nice tips. So stay tuned for that. Also, we had some technical issues. My opponent's voice didn't get recorded through the OBS, so it'll just be my voice today. And also I didn't have my webcam on. If you guys do enjoy this video and this sort of content and you want me to basically upload more of me doing my coaching, please like and comment and let me know. This is the first time uploading this coaching, so a bit nervous. Also, my speaking isn't the best or clearest. I do have ASD, and so sometimes I'm not the best. I'm better with numbers. I like to say English is my second language. My first language is numbers. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoy the video anyway. And if you don't, let me know as well. Comment below that this was boring, or comment below, it needed this, or I could do this better. I would love some feedback and some criticism so I can make these better for you guys. Cheers. Oh, also, don't count how also I say the word a lot in this video, so yeah. So in general with red, you generally want to go second. Yeah, the main reason why, if you have Dadan, you can just play Dadan and then it sets up for your turn 4 play very well. The other thing is, you have Teach. Playing Teach, when you go first, you basically mean Teach is now clashing with Marco, because if you have Marco Teach in your hand, when you have 5 Don, it's very awkward, and then Teach gets more stuck in your hand. Going second is very good, especially when you run Teachers. Also, yellow wants to go second because they want to play Katakuri on turn and they want to play their Big Mama on turn. So especially versus yellow, you want to be going second. The only deck, and Whitebeard, you want to go second. It's very rare that you'd want to go first. At first isn't bad for you. It's not like the end of the world if you go first. It's just second's better for your deck. The only time you'd go first is if your opponent's deck really wanted to go first, if that makes sense. In the mirror, there's some argument for going first because of buggy. In the mirror, going first isn't as bad. I think it's pretty close. In the mirror, what's better? It probably depends on your list, but it could vary first and second. It's pretty close because turn 1 buggy's insane, because if they go Dadan or buggy, then what you do is you put Don on your buggy and then they can't kill it. But yeah. Alright, so this hand, we're going first, so this is definitely not a key. We don't want to be turn 1 passing. We run 4 Izzos, 4 buggies. We could just be playing a minion on curve here. And even if we were going second, I still wouldn't keep this hand. The reason is you have Dadan, that's great, but you have nothing else. You have 3 events, which you don't really want in this early. You'd rather have you could have buggy, Izzo, Teach. I wouldn't keep this hand here. It doesn't matter. You could play Dadan and then you could miss and then you do a 6 kick. But yellow should always be taking the 5k life anyway, so it pretty much makes no difference. Technically, there's maybe even a little bit of an upside of attacking first in case they took their life and got Thunderbolt. So yeah, I think at this turn, this early, they want to take their life, so they're going to take the life. So you probably actually, it is correct to attack with your leader first for 5k. So yeah, easy. Yep, buggy. Good. Do we have any options with buggy? No. Okay, cool. Dropping Marco. Yeah, dropping Marco is just almost always correct to just play it on curve, even if you have no targets. It's just a beat stick, and it's very hard for them to kill. So that's great that figured that out. Yep, great to get rid of one of the 5 fish. You have 2. You want to keep your hand optionally. And one thing with red, almost always you want to take your first 2 to 3 life. You don't want to counter. Sometimes even just go straight to 1. Because of how the deck kind of works in the late game with having so many events, and that you need to basically not be scared to take your life. The players, we always want to play Teach. Teach is coming down. So we have 7 Don, right? So we have 3 left. One thing I want to mention, in this turn, the biggest mistake, and I see red players do this all the time, is how you kept like, just say, I'll go back on this play because this turn's quite significant. So you left like the one dono open. You could have put that on Buggy and done a 5k attack at leader or Pero. You just don't need to leave Radical Beam for. Like, you're on 3 life. You're happy for him to attack your life. If he attacks Marco, again, you don't need Radical Beam. Kind of want to be keeping this Don up when you think they might push you lethal or try to kill you, if that makes sense. Or if you're worried about dying. Or if maybe, say if this was Teach that was rested, then I could, like say you played Teach on curve and this is Teach and you want to be able to protect it from, a Katakuri big attack, then yeah, that makes that's a bit more better to, yeah, I've seen this a lot with Red when they have like a bunch of hands. They don't think of, will I actually use this event during my opponent's turn, or like, they have like double Radical Beam guard point and they're on like 2 life, and then they just leave 3 Don open, where they only probably, because they have 2 life, they only need to leave 1 or 2 Don open, you know what I mean? Also this turn, so what I'm thinking is I want to kill the Pero. Whether, I think there's 2 options. You can, like, because you have 3, 4, you have 2 Dons, so you can put 1 Don on Buggy, 1 Don on Don. You can go 5k, 5k, and then 6 and 7. Alternatively, you could also just play 1 Atama, not put any Don on the Buggy, and attack it for 4,000 and then 4,000. It's going to die anyway. But I think actually I kind of like just like doing 5k, 5k, and then 6k, and then 7k if it's still alive. Like, because think about if it protects the 5k, 5k, and 6k, he's going to only have 3 cards in hand. Yeah, I think I generally like to kill I like to kill him. Yeah, because the thing is that Pero is going to be annoying for me. That Pero is going to get rid of a 2k counter. If he attacks your life, like, you're probably going to use a 2k counter potentially. I don't think you need the double Atama in hand. Like, I think I'm happy to use one. Like, especially on Cracker, I use Atama always just to like just clear it up, and then yeah. But yeah, I think the general thing would be this, leaving this 1 Don open on this turn would be the in lesson. Also, yeah, correct on that. You always want to trash your life first yellow. Giving them almost always, because you want to kind of go down to 0 life to then nullify their like Big Mama effect. But also their lives are just too good with triggers and stuff. It's like the only way you lose. And here I think you use Radical Beam. Yeah, definitely want to be keeping that in the late game. I'd definitely just rather get rid of a Jozu here, or even Fire Fist. Yeah, I'd probably get rid of Fire Fist personally. The reason is I'm thinking he's going to attack with Pero, because that's pretty logical. So then the next turn you kill Pero, and then you would Atama Jet Pistol the big Lin. Yeah, I don't like the idea, like, because I know in your thought process you're like, I'm going to double Atama Fire Fist. You're kind of losing your whole hand, and like one of the best things about the Zoro deck is in the late game you have a hand size. If you watch my games, like I'll have a hand size of 8 to 10 cards. I'll have like 2 to 3 events. Like I'll have such a defense, and it makes it very hard for them to win. One thing here this turn is actually, this is kind of interesting. So once he takes this 5k, what I would do here now, my next attack, because now he's at 0 life, right? I would always start with a 7 attack Marco. The reason is he kind of has to counter out of it, because otherwise then you can just load your Teach up and do like a massive attack. But this is fine too. Like doing the 5k, you're forcing counters. Like this isn't bad either, to be honest. The biggest thing that you need to do, that would be a common mistake that I see people do. See this attack? Never attack with your leader here for 6, because now you're just like giving him an easy 2k counter. Now you only have these 2 attacks. You know. Also, by the way, actually, this is actually why you shouldn't attack with the buggies as well. At least not one of the buggies, because there's cards like Makano and Mugra. If you do a 7k attack here, your opponent still has to calculate Makano and Mugra buffing buggy, and that's a lot of damage. Once you attack with both these buggies, your opponent's like, oh, cool. Now, like, all your Don can just be put on, Teach, and that's all I have to calculate. It's very easy for them, if that makes sense. Just in this spot, just because, like, he's so close to dying, like, he has to be, like, versus good players, have to be mindful. Like, the 7k, like, he'd normally counter this out, get 3, right? He'd have 3 cards in hand. Then you'd put 1 Don on your Zoro, do 7k, takes it, and then you have Teach plus Buggy for for threatening very lethal. Like, you don't have Makano in that, but you should still play that way because it allows them to play poorer, or like they have to overprotect based on the threat of it. But once you attack with both these, now you've there's no threat of Makano and Mugras.